Aloha, my name is Dr. Nick, and I am here with Stephen Baptista and Dr. Robert Cassar at the Earther Academy Retreat Center. And we just finished a 21-day retreat here. And so it was a really, really amazing group that we had here. And Stephen was one of the people that went through the program with us, and he also taught us some of his training program as well, which was super interesting as well. So I just wanted to hand it over to Steve so that he can talk about what his experience here at the retreat was like.
Yeah. So this was pretty much what I expected, but I bring one of my students with me. And then I was pleasantly surprised at how professional these guys are. They got it dialed in just right. I'm kind of critical on when I train my students to sit back, let them do their own thing. But these guys are interactive. They teach you, they show you. And I never fasted for 14 days straight, and actually it was 15 days. And 15 pounds later, I lost. So I came at 165, which is the heaviest I've ever weighed. And all my students said, "Oh, it's fine. You look good." And they were just sympathizing because they didn't want me to be all all cut up and shredded up, looking like Dr. Cassar. And so anyway, getting to this, the protocols were fantastic. I mean, that was a pleasant surprise. I watched, the videos with you. With Dr. Cassar, and I watch it for as long as I could, and then I'd do something, then I come back to it, and then everybody knows how YouTube goes. You watching one thing, then it skips to another thing, and then you come back, and you're like, oh, I watched part of that. And anyway, going through all of the getting rid of the parasites and getting the cleansing and the just overall just junk out of your body, and then understanding was phenomenal, especially for my student, who she's 67 years old and been my student for 4 years and flies a helicopter. When she first came to me, she barely was able to make her physical, and she didn't mention that because it's not a thing she even thinks about anymore. But a 67-year-old woman flying a helicopter, no doors, over lava, I mean, you need somebody who's paramount. Yeah. And so when she came to me, she had no balance in the whole 9 yards, and she had her balance, but what she was missing is her whole entire digestive system and her way of processing food was not there. Yep. She just ate whatever she could, whatever made her feel good for the day, and did like most of us, caffeine and whatever sweet things that she can take and do in her time that she was having to fly. So being here for her and for myself made a huge difference. And like we're talking about the protocols of not eating any solid food for 14, 15 days, could work on you. For the first 3 days, I was fine. The fourth day, I was like, I don't know. And then the fifth day, so I was watching the different people. Everybody had different effects. I'm used to having high energy. And I had enough energy. Everybody said, you don't look like you're fasting. But I was burning all my energy, all my reserves. My nice word for fat was going. It was just, you could see I was round. And then
he came, his face was round, belly hanging, bigger, and he's a physical trainer. Now he looks like a physical trainer. He's got a jaw on him now again. So the magic, and also remember, he's a physical trainer. So, in order, just like being a doctor or a physical trainer, we all have to take care of ourselves. And usually the doctors or the trainers, we don't train on our physical, sometimes biology, but we're helping people with their physicality. So you helped yourself with your biology this time.
Yeah.
And you got the physical part down.
Yeah, I work out all the time, and I wasn't losing any weight. I was like, what the?
Yeah.
And everybody's like, oh, you look fine. I said, yeah, I'm fine, but I'm normally 15 to 20 pounds lighter, and it just wasn't going anywhere. So I had to redo a reset. And that was a really good, this whole program and protocol will reset your system so that then you can get back on track and get where you need to go. And everybody's journey is different, so not one size fits all. But if you can make it out here, look, it's hard to take beautiful Hawaii.
Yeah, I know.
Come on now, like this.
And he lives here, okay? So don't he knows that if you really, just like anybody, if you really want to go ahead and and really dig deep in this type of a program, you can't do it at your own house. You can't do it around what you're used to. You have to go ahead and actually really, drop everything pretty much you're doing. You jumped back and forth a few times.
Yeah. He jumped a lot. Yeah. So he actually was able to maintain the fasting despite needing to care for family, etc.
Yeah.
And I think you also maintained some of your clients as well.
Yeah, I knew my task was more daunting than everybody else of being able to kind of relax or chillax or whatever you want to call it, because I had family and I had students that I couldn't just be away for 21 days. So I have other people that were trainers, but Joyce was one of my trainers, but she was here and she needed to get her body trained, remodified. She needed to do that. And so I actually turned my system on. Like I said, I switched the gear. A lot of people can't do that. They don't have the mind power to say, okay, I'm going to do this and follow through and not like do the drive-through thing as I'm going home, because everybody's like, oh, you're going to go to McDonald's, you're going to Taco Bell,
you're going to go cheat.
And I'm like, I knew that if I cheated, I got another 10, 11 people were like, wait a minute, you're not losing and we're over here. And so there was no way of cheating. I mean, I did 15 pounds in 15 days. There's no way of doing that without actually not eating junk, because that's pretty much what you would have got unless you went home and cooked the whole entire healthy meal that a lot of us don't even know what we're cooking. There was a whole
100%.
understanding how to eat that Dr. Cassar explained, and a whole protocol of what you did as far as cleansing the body, and certain things he scared me with and scared a lot of people with, but then once they did it, they're glad they went ahead and did it. He's talking terpenes, and I've not drank turpentine, which is not really turpentine, it's a pine oil.
Just pine oil.
Yeah, and those really help your body, especially when you, like I said, when you dry out. Huge difference. Because if I just drank water, and it was just plain water, so to speak, bottled water, which we all know that's not going to work. Yeah, you can explain that.
Yeah, I mean, the big thing, like with guys like Steven too, because he's into peak performance. So this guy's really good at doing, like, you should see him. Well, we did a 2-hour video. What would you call that?
Well, it's functional movement and yogaism. So you've got to learn how to breathe. You can't be giving your all without breathing in. And like you explained before, you had athletes that they're not breathing properly. And here they're young, but they don't know how to work their body the way it's supposed to be worked as a highly toned athlete. And so that's what it is. It's yogaism and functional movement that makes sense.
Yeah. And so the idea, I just wanted to say, so he's into peak performance. And this is where you got more peak performance from actually, drying yourself out and then refeeding yourself with bioavailable foods. This guy, like I said, he's a peak performance athlete. Doesn't maybe, it's hard to go ahead and tell anybody what they do, but wait until you see the video that we did. And this type of exercise is balancing the brains, but also it's a total physical overall. And I'm really, because I learned something at this retreat here, because a lot of people that do come, everybody's got something to share. So watch our video that we will put out, and you'll want to go ahead and start training this functional training.
Yeah, that resistance is what you need. Yeah.
No. Okay, but do you feel, just the last question here, do you feel, because you got a chance, because everybody's telling you, hey, you changed, and what happened, did you notice the change in everybody else? Because I just wanted, because we had a group of people here, and everybody similarly did the same things, and everybody similarly had the same benefits, a lot.
Yeah, this was a good group. I was surprised at the age difference from young to old to senior, because I'm 50 plus, and they had people that were 60 plus, and they had people that were 20 and 30. So it scanned, and how would it say, it went the whole gamut of the age groups. I thought it was going to be 40 or over. I was telling Joyce, I thought it was going to be older. And we were a bunch of youngsters and seniors, and everybody changed dramatically within the first week, and then it started getting into the 10th day, and you just seen the change. And then especially now after they started refeeding, you see how everybody looks really healthy. Now at the point where we weren't eating, there's that transformation stage of, okay, you're looking like you need some food.
Yeah.
Because you did.
You're looking worn.
And then they refed, and everybody looks really, really, refreshed.
Just re-nourished with all of the good stuff that your body will
And so
take in.
I seen within 7 days, I just lost a whole roll. And then the rest have started just going off. And even now, it's still continuing, because now I'm at 149
And your
a half.
metabolism got reset. Like you said, this is the great
Yeah,
reset
well, now
for
I'm
your
not.
system to
Now I
start
don't have to
working
have
again.
caffeine to keep going, because that was my go-to. I was tired. I'm like, oh, I could get caffeine, and then I outdid all my students. But that wasn't the goal. It's for them to be peak performance, not me be the athlete, and they like watching me do my routine that I go do with them. So now they're understanding, my students, especially Joyce was my matriarch. She's been around for the last 4 years, where everybody's come and gone. Mainly they got in shape, they did a competition, they moved on, they moved away, and then those were younger people.
Mm-hmm.
This is her home. She's been here 20-something plus years, and she, you'll hear me mention her a lot, because she's like my second mom. My mom's in South Carolina, so she's here, and their birthdays are only 2 days apart, and they're only 2 years apart. And so bringing her to take care of her was one of my big things too. Make sure she got introduced to. I didn't know Dr. Nick until 21 days ago, but 21 days, seeing him every day, and sleeping over him and right next to in the same house, you get to know somebody pretty quick. Especially when you're not eating, you get to pay attention to a lot of
It's
things.
the same with Steve. I'd see him at Home Depot. We'd say, "Hey, are you Dr. Cassar?" Remember?
Yeah.
And then I'd bump into you, and now all of a sudden, I know Steve now, and he's a good man, because you know what? I learned something from him. You learned something from Dr. Nick. We all trade something back and forth, and then you become good brothers when you have these types of dig down relationships.
Right.
Okay, I know this card was short here, so we only had like 15 minutes here before we were going to get cut down.
So Steve brought one of his students, Joyce, to the retreat, and she, being a 67-year-old lady, she went through this program, and I think a lot of this was very new for her.
Yeah.
But she did really, really exceptionally well. I was surprised at how easily she tolerated, though, the 14 days of just water-only fasting. She finally started to struggle towards the end, but other than that, she was like, she went through it really, really good. I just wanted to point that out.
And Joyce will be in the film that we did.
Yeah,
because
you'll see her.
she's one of the main. She's kicking her foot above her head, and she's 67 years old.
Yeah, she's 4 foot nothing, and she kicks her head over 5.5 feet in the air. So it's I made sure that I came with her, because she would have quit after the first 3 days.
Right.
She's got a strong mind, but she also I don't need this. And that
excuse to leave.
Well,
and you pulled her in.
So I said, and then also when she was like, should I go? When she went home for that couple days, she goes, can I eat anything? I said, if you want a big stomach ache and cramps and throwing up, go right ahead. She's like, okay, that's not even funny. I said, you know what? I'm not going to do it. And so that's a big thing of putting that mindset in her, that just stick with it, because if you go and you binge eat, it's going to happen, and everybody's done it. And
I think she's on her way now, because you know what, she saw the magical changes in everybody, and everyone's got a different way to feed, and to just be in a group. To me, I found out that everybody really succeeds. So okay, I know we're, like I said, the chip's going to go ahead and the camera's going to shut down.
Yeah, thank you, Steve, for sharing. Appreciate it.
Thank you guys. I mean, you guys are literally lifesavers. People don't realize how this will play in their life later down the road, because I've seen this happen many times, especially when I was in the military, of going through just 2 weeks, 3 weeks of camaraderie, of interchange, everybody communing together makes a world of difference in your life. People don't realize it until they do it. So
now I got a new friend here now in Hawaii.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah, it's so good to have a couple of people come from the island to have this experience.
Yeah, so now if he needs me, I'll come up here and we'll work some people.
No, we're going to go ahead and actually maybe train a couple times together. I want to learn his stuff. That's what I want to learn.
Yeah, when you learn the functional fitness with the resistance bands and the ball system I developed, make it your own program, like I told before in the other video. And then you could get that, call me and talk to Dr. Cassar, get a hold of him, and we can make you a set of functional fitness bands and system for your own home gym, or take it to the gym and look like a superstar.
So watch the video, and we'll
Yeah.
have all the contact information so you can get yourself one of these home fitness gyms, which is like
Yeah.
me playing like I'm a kid, so I like to
Yeah,
do
it's
it.
having fun. That's the main thing. Is you have fun and you get fit at the same time.
Yeah.
So we call it fun fitness.
Right. Okay.
All right.
Mahalo.
Aloha.
Aloha.
Aloha.